Please welcome co-founder and CEO of Attentive, Brian Long.
How's everybody doing this morning? Doing good? So first off, I have to thank our marketing team for putting on an amazing event last night. And I have to thank you people who went to the event and still made it to this 9:30 a.m. keynote. If I was an attendee, I don't know if I would have made it to this thing. So thank you so much for coming. We've got over 500 customers here in attendance at Thread. And we actually have over 1,000 people joining virtually. And we've also got hundreds of partners and friends and all sorts of other people joining as well. I think I also have my mom on the virtual stream right now somehow. So I got to say hi, Mom. Love you, Mom. You know, great to have you here. You don't need to join the rest of the live stream, but I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Okay, so really excited to have everyone here in person and super excited to be able to kick this thing off and have everyone here be able to join, be able to meet new friends and get going. So, you know, it's been a little over 6 years since we started Attentive. We actually started about 15 blocks away from here. We subleased this tiny little space from a literary agency off Union Square, kind of built our own IKEA desks, one little room thing where I remember there was a loft above us where one of the literary agents worked. And at 10 in the morning every day, they got breakfast, and they'd say, breakfast, and the person would come running down the stairs from the loft, and like dust would cover us. So these are some real startup times, and we've obviously come pretty far from the holiday event that was that first year to where we are now, working with over 5,000 different companies. I think it's about 8,000 now, of which we make up almost 30% of the top 1,000 internet retailers today, sending and receiving billions of messages every month to over 500 million consumers. Yeah, that's right. So billions and billions of messages sent and received every month to over 500 million consumers. So pretty crazy numbers that we're hitting today. And you know, as a result of the work that we've done together building that ecosystem, we were actually the only marketing or e-commerce or whatever you want to call it company that was named in the Forbes top 10 for private software companies. So really pretty rarefied era to be in. And we just want to thank all of you for helping us build this ecosystem. I assure you, when we started selling SMS in 2017 and 2016, no one wanted it. So, but there were a few people that said yes. Some people in the audience today, like our friends at TeePublic or our friends at Urban Outfitters or CB2 or other folks, some of which are speaking today. So we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. You know, and the numbers today are pretty ridiculous as well from a performance standpoint. We're driving on average 18.5% of online sales from SMS for our customers. Last year, we made $55 for every $1 spent on the Attentive platform, and have driven over $10 billion in sales. And we will far eclipse that number this year. Just in Black Friday, Cyber Monday week alone, last week, we did close to $1 billion in revenue. And we're expecting to more than double that this year. So pretty crazy scale that sort of hit this SMS channel very quickly. We also started off working just with e-commerce and retail brands, but over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of expansion into new categories of types of businesses. We work with a lot of companies now in the travel space, like celebrity cruise lines. We work with musicians and pop stars and people like that, hundreds of them, people like Tim McGraw. And then we even work with professional sports teams like the Bears, the Jets, and hopefully even more New York teams and other teams shortly. It's growing really fast for us. So it's been really cool to see the different types of companies that are embracing SMS now. We've also seen a lot of growth within food and beverage category. So, you know, personally, I have a lot of great brands here, but as some people may know, I am originally from Philadelphia. I eat. Any other Philly people here, I hope? So, interesting fact, I don't know if this is fact or just total BS, but supposedly Philadelphia people eat like 8 times more pretzels than the average person eats. Definitely true for me. And I have a very vivid memory of going on one of my first field trips to the Utz factory. Has anyone actually done this? Am I the only person here?
Yeah, I wish.
Well, guess what? That's not going to be the case after this keynote. We're very excited to be able to give out Utz chips, and on some of those chips that you're going to get, there's a special ticket that you can go on the factory tour yourself, or you can just get a gift card. You might want to get the gift card. But anyway, they're tossing the chips out now, so please dig in. We spent our money on the party last night, so we're giving out chips now. Sorry, guys. It's a long night. And in addition, for our love for expanding things into snacks and pretzels and things like that, we've also expanded globally into all sorts of snacks. So we started off in the US. Last year, we scaled up in Canada and the United Kingdom. And now we're in 10 plus countries globally. And we're adding a lot of countries. We're adding like over a country a month right now, which is pretty great. We really want to be everywhere that your business is and be able to support you to reach these customers worldwide. We can look at a lot of examples of the types of programs that have been the most successful, the coolest stuff out there, by going to textwelove.com. You can also text inspiration to 21718. There'll be a couple times during this keynote where we tell you to text something to 21718, so you might as well just get it over with now. So text inspiration to 21718 if you want to get some examples of that. There's a lot of great examples on textwelove.com of what other brands are doing. Also, take a minute now to turn to the person to the left or right of you, introduce yourself, find out what their text program is. That's one of the best things about doing these conferences in person, is to meet people with you. So I'm actually going to stop for a minute and let you introduce each other and get to know each other for a minute. So pause. Okay. Next slide. Sorry, guys. Woo! I can't whistle. Okay, so I do have to respect the people that are joining virtually. They can't talk to their cat or whatever, so we got to keep rolling. But I hope that you've already made 1 or 2 friends and can make even more through the course of today. So now I've talked a little bit about what we've done today. Let's talk a little about where we're going. So when we're looking for inspiration on where messaging is going, we like to look at what's happening in other countries that have been doing messaging for longer. And in particular, I think it's pretty fascinating what's happened in China with WeChat. So in China, people use WeChat as the primary way to engage with like every business. So everyone has it, every business has it, every consumer has it. And it is the way that people interact. It's pretty crazy. So they use it in order to get marketing updates, but also to buy things, to get customer service, to get real-time support. Everything that you'd want between a business and consumer is happening via WeChat today. And we're starting to see that happen in the United States. If you think about some of the more costly purchases that you've made over the last couple of years, if you've show up for a car or a house or a nice handbag or whatever it is, you probably had the experience of text messaging with the end salesperson, right? They're sending you pictures, they're answering questions, they're doing that type of stuff, and it can be a really awesome, magical experience when it's done right. So we believe that those type of magical experiences are coming to SMS, and we have set a new company mission for Attentive that we want to create those type of magical experiences. That's what we want to do here at Attentive, and we're very excited to partner with companies like yours to deliver that type of magical experience for consumers. We also believe that that communication is predominantly going to happen over SMS because everyone has it, right? Everyone knows how to use it, and it's also really consistent. So most people have had the same phone number for a long time. I've had my phone number for 20 plus years. Very easy to reach you and to personalize things to you. But the time is really now in order to build out that list and build out that program, because when you go out and you talk to consumers, they're not going to sign up for as many SMS programs as they've signed up for email programs. So it's very important that you get in front of those consumers right now. And when we talk to customers and we figure out what other problems are really hitting them today, still number one is that issue. How are they growing their subscriber list? And then once they grow that subscriber list, how do they send messages that are relevant and conversational and actually get delivered? Making sure they're following the right type of compliance, and finally making it easy to manage this new channel that it's actually really hard to figure out how to send millions of messages that are personalized to people back and forth conversationally. That's pretty tough. So really that is what we are trying to solve. And to date, the numbers are pretty ridiculous. So we recently did a survey of people that moved from other vendors to Attentive and found that on average, they were making 2 times more subscribers and conversions per message. They were also seeing significantly higher engagement rates, delivery rates, and to date have had 0 legal judgments against them from a compliance standpoint. They've also overall rated our customer satisfaction at a 98%. The way that we're delivering that is our product platform today. And we break that platform down into these 5 core components: our overall core, compliance, email, messaging, and client strategy. So let's get started talking about really the meat and potatoes, messaging. So within messaging, we spent a lot of time, hundreds of engineers, building out the best messaging product we possibly could. And we're constantly shipping all sorts of new features to this messaging product. There's big teams that are constantly working just to make the core messaging product better. One of the problems that we kept hearing over and over again over the last 1.5 years, 2 years, though, was that a lot of consumers were replying to messages and not getting a response back. And in a lot of cases, they're asking questions about products. They're asking buying questions, and they're not getting a response back, and it's a big missed opportunity. So to solve for that missed opportunity, we launched Attentive Concierge. Attentive Concierge is a way to have real conversations with consumers so that you can deliver seamlessly that type of high-end WeChat, whatever it is, conversational experience to the consumer that's truly magical. And the results are pretty incredible. We're seeing a 43% higher conversion rate when people are doing that type of conversational messaging. To experience it for yourself, text reply to 21718. Okay, but when we were doing that exploration, we also figured out something else. We found that the on-site live chat experience was pretty crappy today for most brands, particularly when you're on a mobile website. I think most people have had this experience when you try to get support on a mobile website and you type in for a question, and then you wait 5 minutes for a response, you go to another app, you go to another tab, you go do something else, and then like several weeks later you come back to that tab and it's like, John joined the conversation. Hi, how are you? John left the conversation over. So that was obviously a bad experience for both the consumer as well as the brand. So we want to fix that experience. And today, I'm really excited to announce one of our new products, Live SMS. With live SMS, you really have an all-in-one live chat solution that's delivered via SMS. And what happens is you can show an on-site live chat module on your site, and when the person hits it in order to get support, ask a question, whatever, it creates a text message. They hit send to join that text message, and seamlessly they can have their questions answered. But that's not the end of the experience, right? Today, consumers are still going to the website and have to go buy something. And it turns out that mobile web conversion rates are still about half of desktop. And it makes sense, right? Because if you're on your phone, you go to buy something, and then you're like, oh, I got to find my credit card. I got to go do some other stuff. I got to type all this address crap in. I don't want to do all that, right? And it's getting better and better, and there's been new payment systems that have made it better, but it's still half of desktop. So how do we make that purchasing extremely seamless? Well, with that, I'm also really excited to introduce our third new product today, which is Attentive Text to Buy. With Text to Buy, you can just send a text message within an Attentive stream and buy a product. And this is pretty cool because if someone buys once across one of Attentive merchants, they can buy across any of our merchants, and it's pre-stored, pre-saved with their payment information, their shipping information, all that stuff. So you get to leverage the power of the Attentive network across these 5,000 plus brands reaching 550 million plus consumers, so that we're going to capture that payment information from one person and use it across our network. Pretty incredible how that works. So now I've got the pleasure to introduce Amit, our president, who was previously for many years the CEO of Venmo, to talk a little bit about these products and give you a quick demonstration. Let's give him a big hand.
Thanks, Brian. I'm so stoked to be here with all of you today. I've spent nearly 20 years of my life working on commerce, connecting businesses with consumers. And as Brian mentioned, I was CEO at Venmo and a member of the executive team at PayPal that enabled me to talk to thousands of businesses just like yours and hundreds of thousands of consumers. And there's one problem in online commerce that remains to be solved: clienteling. What is the equivalent experience of a sales associate at a store helping a customer understand the products that are best suited for them? In the online world where you cannot touch, taste, smell, try on a product, there's more customer doubt and uncertainty than in any other transaction, leading to the largest source of drop-off between interest and purchase. And this is why I'm excited today to announce a suite of products Attentive has developed called Conversations That Convert, starting with our Concierge product, then we'll talk about Live SMS, and the third one, Text to Buy. If we take an example of Concierge, we see Jessica here has received a message from our house brand, Bonnie Beauty. Bonnie Beauty reaches out to Jessica as a repeat customer, someone who has bought their products before and is happy to repeat buy new categories. But Jessica gets this message, and while she's intrigued, she has a question. Does this product have a scent? She replies back in the format and where she received the initial message, and unfortunately, she doesn't get a reply. Bonnie Beauty gets thousands of messages in response to their campaigns, and today, the vast majority of those go completely unresponded to. When a customer has high intent to make a purchase, but has the doubt about the specifics of the product, we're losing that customer motivation to complete that purchase. Enter Attentive Concierge. Attentive Concierge takes information about your company, your product, that consumer, and across the billions of transactions and messages that Attentive sees, and uses an AI engine to help give the exact answer that Jessica needs to her question, such that she can be confident in completing the purchase. So the questions come in, Attentive Concierge looks at its information, comes up with an answer that matches her needs. And when this happens, we see that not only do customers convert at a higher rate, they have higher brand affinity, and they also have higher average order value. Now they are more confident to proceed with the transaction they were considering. So we see Jessica ask the question, get a response. We complete that message with a short URL that allows her to go directly to a checkout page with that product already added to her cart, such that she can complete the purchase simply. This turns a browser into a buyer, a customer into revenue. These are the conversations that convert and the way that you will continue to expand your business going forward. The second product we'll jump into is live SMS. So Jessica now is on a product page. She's looking, but has another question. We have a call to action of live SMS. We all know that web chat is fundamentally broken on mobile devices. It was never developed as a technology to solve that problem. Messaging on mobile devices is meant for the Messages app, which is most comfortable and natural for people to use, and also contains the history of the conversation. So Jessica asks a question by clicking the call to action on live SMS, automatically enrolls into marketing SMS messages, and asks what product pairs well with the bomb. The AI Attentive engine for Concierge plugs in an answer and pairs two products together that increase the average order value, give confidence to Jessica to complete the transaction, and overall make her more likely to be a repeat customer. The link is provided such that she gets a simplified checkout page with both items already added. She doesn't hit a home page. She doesn't have to search for the new product and can complete the order right there. Simple transactions turn browsers into buyers and revenue for your bottom line. The last product we'll talk about, something very near and dear to my heart, is text to buy. There's always been a question in the payments world of, do we need to move customers back to checkout screens? If a customer sees something they like, can they complete the transaction where they have that confidence? Text to buy is our first foray into this and a collaboration with ShopPay. We use the information we have from Shopify, including the payment method and the address and shipping information, such that a customer can buy it from a brand with just a few responses. And easy as that, we bring convenience and simplicity into the customer's life so they are completing more transactions faster with less screens and less switching of apps. I hope you all see the value of these conversations that convert, that we're turning potential customers into revenue for you, and that you're able to experiment with these products in the coming weeks and months. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your CSM or to me, and we'll be happy to give you more information. Thanks so much. Back to Brian.
All right, pretty cool stuff. And I think it's really pushing in that direction we want to go and to create those magical conversations. So look, the amount of messages that we're sending now and that are being sent over SMS have grown ridiculously over the last few years. And as a result, it is getting harder and harder to make sure that your messages are actually being delivered. The biggest things that we think about on that side are, number one, making sure the carriers deliver the message, and number two, making sure the handset providers show the message. So I'm going to talk for just a quick second around what we're doing there to make that better and better. We have put a tremendous amount of resources and investment behind our ADN, our Attentive Delivery Network, in order to make sure that your messages are reaching the inbox. We're sending and receiving billions of messages to over 500 million people, and we're also constantly monitoring all of those messages to ensure that they're being delivered, getting clicked on, and working. So we got a big team, dozens of people that just work to make sure those messages are being delivered globally, making it really easy for you. You may have also noticed that iOS and Android have been experimenting with separate inboxes. Those that have been in the email marketing game for a while probably remember when this happened in email with a primary and advertising and other inbox. For SMS, they're really just trying to get rid of spam because everyone has had that experience now of getting SMS spam. Well, in order to deal with this issue, we launched Attentive contact cards. And if you're not doing this already, you should definitely add this. This ensures that when a consumer signs up for your program, they can save you into their address book with your brand name, logo, contact information, and make sure that you're never blocked no matter what happens with their device. They get a new device, new setting, whatever, it's always going to go into that inbox. We're also constantly making tweaks to make sure that the consumer likes the messages we're sending and we don't annoy them. So we don't send messages when consumers may be asleep based on looking at their time zone. And we also don't send too many messages to the consumer. We have frequency capping per consumer. So that kind of wraps it up for our messaging product. And now I want to jump into our core products. So our core products are really, really important because of how the landscape today is changing. It is, I think, one of the hardest times to be a marketer in the last decade. There's significant declines in the click-through rates for both social and search ads, a lot driven by the changes that Apple has made to privacy that's impacted Facebook ads. And to add on top of all of that change, we're also seeing overall a drop in traffic for our average customer. Year over year, post-COVID, we're seeing about a 15 to 20% drop in traffic, and the quality of the traffic is also going down because to compensate for that drop, people are trying to buy cheaper and cheaper and kind of crappy traffic. So we need to figure out how to drive more quality traffic. And that's why we are focused on helping you to grow your SMS list better and capture more information from those subscribers so that you can drive more great traffic to your website. Our patented two-tap sign-up is the only place that you can drive a seamless sign-up experience in just 2 taps. 1 tap to create the text message and 1 tap to send the message. And we're constantly adding new features to that process. We now have the ability to capture all sorts of additional information from the subscriber when they sign up. All of that data flows into the Attentive Consumer Passport. The Attentive Consumer Passport is the center of identity for our subscribers, and we break that data down into 4 different buckets. Bucket number 1 is first-party data. This is information like what they're browsing, what they're buying, what they're doing on your website. And this data is not going anywhere. These are all first-party cookies. It's not impacted by any of the changes that's being made in the browsers or privacy settings. Number 2 is zero-party. Zero-party, fancy way of saying it's email addresses, phone numbers, and any other data that the user gives you directly. Number 3 is enriched data. You might not know we do this, but every time someone signs up, we enrich a lot of information into that profile. So we figure out where they're located, we figure out what type of device that they have, who their cellular carrier is, and we use that information in order to make sure that your messages are personalized and delivered. And then finally, we also capture every message engagement. So if they're responding to messages, clicking on messages, or, man, I hope not, unsubscribing for messages, then we're going to capture all that and use that, too, for how we set up your Attentive Consumer Passport. And that passport really powers everything throughout all of our different products and experiences. And we also pull in information from lots of partners. We have 100+ integration partners now that are feeding into this consumer passport. And we got a team of dozens of engineers that are building more and more integrations every day. We use this data in a lot of ways. So it powers like everything across our platform. But just one cool, quick example to share is our product recommendations. So you can now add product recommendations directly into messages so you can send a personalized message to promote the right product to the right consumer. For all of these different types of messages and interactions that we have, we're also constantly improving our analytics. We've heard loud and clear from you that you want to understand more about what's going on and how to make it better. So we're constantly working to make that much better. You see all sorts of new features we're shipping now and constantly adding new things. So please give us feedback on more and more that you want there to learn more. And with that now, I'm really excited to introduce Sarah Varney, our CMO, to speak a bit more about our core products. Let's give her a really big hand.
Thank you, Brian. And hello, Thread. Good morning. All right, we're going to see how a brand like Bonnie Beauty can personalize their entire customer journey on the Attentive platform. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So as Brian mentioned, it starts with our sign-up units. We have over 30 fully customizable sign-up units to help you, number one, grow your list, but number two, create and collect all of that customer preference data up front so that you can personalize the journey with every interaction that people have with your brand. Our client strategy team, hopefully many of you in the room have worked with them on a regular basis. They are hyper-focused on making sure that you're successful out of the gates, that every campaign is successful. And one of their best practices is to A/B test your sign-up units. So you can change the copy, you can change the offer, you can change the way that people actually engage with the unit itself. And so Bonnie Beauty runs a test, and lo and behold, Spin to Win is the clear winner. Now, this is not just for demo purposes. We see on average, people who use the Spin to Win sign-up unit see an average of 2x their list growth. So if you're not using Spin to Win today, please talk to your CSM about it. I highly recommend it. So Bonnie Beauty, they're committed to Spin to Win. Now they're going to put it out in the wild, and here we have Katie. Katie is a prospect of Bonnie Beauty. She comes across this awesome lip balm on an Instagram ad, and she comes across that Spin to Win unit. So now, for the live audience, we're going to spin this wheel. Let's get a drum roll, please. Can I get a little drum roll in the audience? All right, boom, she gets 15%. Awesome. Amazing. We're not going to tell Katie that everyone gets 15%. That's okay. She's super happy. And just with a couple clicks, we're going to go ahead and complete that sign up. So she's going to go ahead, submit her email, but also, most important on the screen, she's going to submit her product preferences. So here, she's telling Bonnie Beauty that she likes skincare, and now moving forward, we can go ahead and remarket skincare products to her, because that's what she's going to be most interested in, and that's going to have a higher chance for conversion. So we're going to continue on. Now, I know as a marketer that every sell I add, every place I ask someone to submit more information, that's just a chance for someone to drop out of the buying process. But with Attentive and our patented two-tap technology, that's not an issue. So simply, Katie can click once to complete the sign-up, and then she can click a second time to confirm that subscription. And now with a couple more clicks, she can complete this purchase. So she's going to add the lip balm to her bag. She's going to apply the offer. I think, yes, she is. And then with one more click, that lip balm is off to her house. Now, the beauty is the Attentive tag is embedded on the Bonnie website. And so all of that information, that purchasing information, can be written back to the Attentive Consumer Passport. Now, just in a matter of minutes, we've collected a lot of data on Katie. We've collected preference data, zero-party data. We've collected first-party data and the way that she's interacted with the website. We've collected engagement data. We know what types of programs that she's interested in. And now we're going to switch gears a little bit and see what that Bonnie Beauty marketer sees. So now we're in the Attentive Consumer Passport, and you can see here's that engagement data. We know what program she's opted into, whether it's email or text. We can see her activities, and these activities can be native to the Attentive platform, or they can be from our ecosystem of partners. We can see the attributes. So here's where we collected that data. Here's her product preference data. We know that she likes skincare. We also even know what scents she likes. We can segment on scent. And finally, we can see all the offer data. We can see what offers she's taken up the most. So all that data is great, but let's see how we can actually put it into action. We're going to set up a post-purchase journey. And we're going to go ahead and text Katie 3 days after she's received that lip balm to see how she likes it, but also to not miss that opportunity to also remarket a second product to her. So now we're pulling in that data from the Attentive Consumer Passport. We're able to insert her name. We're also able to insert the product that we know is going to be relevant to her. And right in her SMS, she's able to receive this message. We say, hey, Katie, we know you got this lip balm. Tell us how you like it. But also, we have this great skincare product that we think you might be interested in, too. So now you've seen how from initial interest to offer to purchase and becoming even a repeat customer, Bonnie Beauty is able to customize their entire customer journey using the Attentive platform. And with that, I'll turn it back to Brian.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sarah. Let's give it one more hand. I got to follow this with compliance. This is kind of rough. And as I stand here talking, I look over and our general counsel's in the front row watching. Let's give him a hand, John. Hey. So if I screw anything up here, I'm going to make him come up and explain it properly. So, look, as folks know, text is a regulated space, and it's really important that you follow those regulations. But what you may not know is that it is changing very fast. And because of some various decisions and changes to the law that happened about 15 months ago, we have seen a large increase in the volume of text message lawsuits, about 10x more text message lawsuits now from where it was about 15 months ago. So it is definitely, John's been busy, okay? And he's been adding more folks to his team and making sure that we're really doing everything that we need to protect you. And one of the things that we've realized is that a lot of the lawsuits are coming from professional plaintiffs who purposely sign up for SMS programs in order to sue those programs. For whatever reason, most of these people are also in Florida. Love Florida. Florida's great. I don't know why that is, but they're mostly in Florida. So what we've done is we've set this product, Attentive Litigator Defender. And what it is it creates a blacklist of every single person's phone number who has been involved in one of these text message lawsuits across our network. And that allows us to automatically remove anyone who's one of these bad apples that are just trying to cause problems, right? So whenever there's a net new signup, we check that database, automatically remove those phone numbers behind the scenes. And in the last year, we've removed more than 50,000 different of these people that would have generated like billions of dollars in lawsuits if we weren't doing that. So it's kind of crazy what that volume is. Now, that's kind of our first line of defense, and that gets rid of like the vast majority of bad apples, but you're still going to get some complaints and people that are trying to make noise and cause problems. For that, we're keeping a really, really detailed record of everything a subscriber does, which we call our Enhanced Audit Assistant. And whenever you get a complaint, we put together this really detailed record that shows how the person signed up, what the sign-up unit looked like, what the legal language was, where they were located when they signed up, what type of device they have. We send these letters over to people when they complain, and they're like, oh yeah, I did do that. So those two things together protect you from these text message-based lawsuits. We've also got all sorts of other acronyms that we service, like GDPR for Europe, CCPA for California, which I guess is a different country now, dealing with CASEL for Canada, ADA for disability, the list goes on and on. Just know that behind the scenes, we are constantly doing things to make sure that your brand is protected, so hopefully you don't have to deal with most of this BS. Sorry, John, no offense. Okay. So that's compliance, very important. Sometimes doesn't get the most glory it should, but very, very important to make sure your program's running well. Now I'm super excited to talk a little bit about our email products and what we have planned here. So let's step back for a second. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it because a lot of our customers, you guys, wanted us to build an email product, And the number one thing that we heard is that you weren't happy with the level of support from your existing provider. You wanted Attentive-style support in an email solution, right? You were tired of waiting 141st person in line in order to get an update and then never be given anything. So with that, very excited to introduce Attentive Email, which is our full email service provider and managed service that allows you to run a top-notch email program. And today, we already have over 500 brands using this product. We've been building this for years and rolling it out for the last year and a half. Over 500 brands using it. And for the average brand that has migrated to us and taken into account our best practices and templates, has seen a 96% increase in revenue driven from their prior provider. So pretty insane performance that we've seen to date. Oh, I forgot the text message plug there. Type explore to 21718 to learn more about how that works. So we break this product down into 3 core features. Number 1 is our triggered email. So these are things like cart abandonment, browse abandonment, post-purchase. You can drop email right into your SMS journeys. We've got templates pre-made that does it all the right way for you, best practice-wise, so that you can have immediate sequences set up that do SMS and email. You can also go in and edit them and have them do anything you want using our magical journeys, all sorts of products. Everything that you love in SMS also works seamlessly for email in these journeys. So it's a truly integrated product. Number 2 is our campaign email. So this is your full end-to-end campaign email message sending platform that includes really awesome templates, all sorts of functionality, reporting, analytics all in one place between SMS and email. It's awesome. And we've got a big team that's got your list and feedback of other things you want, and we've got a big team that's just knocking those things off one at a time to make it better and better every day, and we're committed to continuing to make that product better and better. We've also heard a lot of feedback that orchestration, particularly for those campaigns, is really important. You want to be able to synchronize your campaigns. Well, number 3 is our Magic Composer. So I think this is truly an industry first. There's a lot of folks that talk about how they do email and do SMS, but if you look at their product in reality, it's like 2 separate tabs, 2 separate places. You go do one thing, then you do something else in some other area. They don't really talk to each other. With our Magic Composer, you can put together an email and SMS message in one sequence, in one place, one campaign. It's pretty awesome, and it really is built together to be integrated. So really, really cool product. And with that, I'm very excited to bring up Eric, our Chief Customer Officer, who's going to walk us through the email product.
Thank you, Brian. So I'm really excited to be here today. A lot of people here have 2 challenges. One, it's really hard to put together a strategy that works well across email, SMS, and all the other channels you have. 2, it's like, sending the right message to those people is hard. You have different journeys, different places, and we want to solve that for you. So for SMS, we feel that we have. So everyone here, you have someone on the client strategy team who knows your business, who has learned everything about it. We're bringing that same thing for email. So every single person here who migrates to Attentive for email, you'll have a designer, a deliverability expert, an email specialist, and it's driving really great results because we can finally figure out what should you do, like what should you be sending to people. You don't want to send both. When do you do this? The results are kind of amazing. So Brian just shared this. More than 500 brands have already moved to Attentive for email. They're seeing 96% more revenue, which we find is kind of amazing, and I'll show you what's driving that. So first, we have a suite of solutions. Triggered email, I think, is a lot of where people think about orchestration, and everyone knows this. People come to your site, they add something to cart, 95% of people leave. It's very sad. So in this example, we have a journey set up. It has SMS. Adding email is very simple. So we'll still send out text first, but with Attentive email, it's very simple to add all of these extra touch points and they're all super personalized. So the Attentive Consumer Passport is bringing in all the information, so we know it's Beth, we know what she looked at. Every email she clicks on, all of the future emails will be super personalized. So we're adding in every recommendation. She goes to the site, gets a new product each time. Campaign email is, especially talking to people last night, this is where you spend probably most of the time and energy. And a lot of that is on two things. One, audience creation. Two, making and editing templates. So with Attentive, we already have all this information. So in this example, I want to have a VIP event in New York. I have my loyalty provider, Loyalty Lion. I have all the Attentive data for location. It's super easy to make that audience. And when I want to make a template, the biggest challenge when people move email programs is migrating is, it's not a dream in a lot of cases. And so we have an entire design team that will work with you to bring over all of your templates. And we're not just uploading HTML, we're remaking every single thing directly into Attentive so that it's super easy for you to click a few buttons, drag things, drop them, and make these edits really fast. But the big challenge is you're not making just one email or sending one text. Very often there's a whole story, there's a campaign you're putting together. And the Attentive Magic Composer is, we think, an industry-first way of solving this, because in other programs or other platforms, you have different screens, you have to do the same thing twice, you can't really remember what you've done. So we've brought all of that together in a single flow that makes it much, much easier to do this in just a couple of minutes. So first, in this example, I have a Halloween promotion. It's coming up. I want to send a text out to people. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to send that first. If people are on my email list and they're not on my text list, obviously I want to send them an email. So the next screen, I'm going to do that. But if they clicked on my text and they were not active on my email list, but I had them, I definitely want to bring them in because I know now that they're active. They're actively engaged in this buying process. So I'll add that to the audience, and Attentive will do that automatically. Finally, I have extra product. I need to get it out. Halloween's coming up. I'm going to throw a discount in my next text. But, and I'm sure this has happened to a lot of people here, you send that out, and people are like, bro, I bought from the email, I paid full price, I don't like that, why did you just do that to me? And so we're not gonna do that. So we know who bought from the text, we know who bought from the email, and we're gonna automatically take all of those people out. And so now we had that person, she had abandoned her cart, we finally send a text out, she clicks, she buys, very exciting. And so with Attentive email, we're really excited. We have, again, more than 500 brands already using this. The results are incredible. So if you're excited about it and you want to get in touch with us, please reach out to your CSM. We'd be more than happy to get you up and running. And thank you.
All right. Let's give him one more hand. Thanks a lot, Eric. So it's kind of fitting, last section here, client strategy. Eric, when he's not busy doing the email product, also runs off client strategy. And a lot of you know we are very focused on offering fantastic support. So there to help customers get their program off the ground and make sure that it's successful. Today, in addition to that, just want to introduce two additional services that you may not know about. First are our Attentive managed services. So if you want Attentive to really take on additional responsibilities in order to help run your program through reporting, things like that, you can. Please just let us know, and we can do those additional things. And then in addition to that, we also have a large technical services team. So we've got dozens and dozens of engineers that are just building custom technical work for customers on one-offs. If you need custom work because you got a cool idea, maybe you were inspired by something you saw today or in one of the sessions later today, and you said, I want to build that, but in my technology, make this work, talk to us. We can make that work, get our technical services team to get that operated and stood up. Now, really excited to bring on a couple different customer panels we got today from APL, Spark, and Reformation. And with that, I'm going to introduce Amit and NJ Falk from APL. to chat a little bit about their experience. So with that, I'll hand things over to Amit and Ajay.
There you go, sir. Oh, thank you guys so much. NJ, thank you for being here. So excited to have you.
Thank you for having me here.
I think it'd be helpful for the audience to know a little bit about the APL story and how you guys got started.
I'd love to tell everybody about APL. We are the pioneers and the innovators for the luxury performance category in men's and women's athletic footwear. And it all started with our Concept One basketball shoes that were banned by the NBA. So that was the amazing start for the company. Okay, he's got on the tracers with the speckle outsole. And I've got on our latest collab with the McLaren F1 shoes that just like set the world on fire August 2nd. And we launched it with you guys too. So, we're all about our customer experience. And since we're a digitally first brand, and that's our roots, we believe in white glove service and having this whole conversation with our customer online about everything that's going on. And it's also about our absolutely beautiful imagery that's in-house. And we really work hard, and that's part of our whole elevated white glove customer experience. And we like to have this conversation where you're part of the APL family.
Yeah, it's such an amazing story and one
Thank
that we're
you.
super excited to be a part of. Can you tell us how you've used SMS to help elevate the brand and your relationship with customers?
Yes, we actually have, first of all, we said it's a white glove experience. We're talking one-on-one with everyone, and this is so important to us. But it also starts with how we're using beautiful imagery in everything we do. We don't skimp on the spend. We spend the extra dollar for all the imagery. We actually want to make sure that we maintain our brand voice in everything we do. We literally study every word, and we do that all the time with our client success manager. We're always talking about everything and following every journey. And it's never static for us. We're always like doing that over and over again. So that's important to the whole dialogue and everything that that's happening.
Yeah, and you guys have had tremendous results, right?
We've had really tremendous results, and I think it shows in everything that we do. And we also do it with the marketing calendar in terms of like looking at our calendar and really being precise about everything. But you and I have talked about this. It's about flexibility too, like last Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Because of the global supply chain crisis, we literally within 4 hours changed our whole SMS strategy, redid everything, changed all the timing, went out with a new program, and you guys were in lockstep with us. So that was really, really critical thing that happened for us. So part of the whole reason that we can achieve these kinds of numbers, but we're also like very focused on all the other journeys that happen with us and really changing those and constantly making them more and more sophisticated.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, and it's also our whole team and your team working together, and it's part of this whole partnership that's so critical to everything that we do. We have an ongoing dialogue.
Excellent, excellent. And if you had one or two pieces of advice for the other businesses out there that have helped make APL such a hit, what would you suggest?
Well, I think your team knows this, but I constantly bother and raise my hand for like, I want to be in every alpha, every beta, tell me every piece of news. I want to try it. We want to try it because we feel it's like part of the whole thing of how to get better and embrace change, because change is really what moves things forward for us. So that's really important. And again, I think it's also about the journey and never staying static and looking at how we can do everything better. We never settle. We always want a luxury experience, and we always want our customer to have a luxury experience with us. So actually today, we want everyone to have that experience too. And we have a special discount at Thread 15 if you go to APL for 15% off for the next week for a promotional code, and take the journey with us. See what we do, enjoy our imagery, and it's we want to bring you into the APL family, so it's our way of welcoming you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to the Attentive team and to the APL team, who are amazing. It's all about teamwork.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank
Pass it
you.
back.
All right. Well, I am super lucky to have Carolyn Anderson here with us today from the Spark Group. Carolyn has over 15 years experience in CRM and digital experience, so super lucky to have you here to talk about your experience on Attentive and with the Spark Group. And let's just start there. Tell us a little bit about the Spark Group and how your company's structured, because it's a little bit unconventional.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here. So Spark Group is a joint venture between Authentic Brands Group and Simon Property Group, and we operate 7 brands. So Lucky Brand, Nautica, Arrow, Eddie Bauer, Brooks Brothers, Forever 21, and Reebok. And I joined in May of 2020 through Lucky Brand, and I ran e-commerce and growth. And then in January in 2021, I moved into my new role. So I manage digital marketing and CRM across the entire group.
Fantastic. And I know in our conversations, you started off in Lucky, but then grew to take over all the brands, and a big part of that role and your objectives is to bring all those brands together in a seamless way, especially on the back end when it comes to technology. Tell us a little bit about how you choose technology partners and what goes into that.
Yeah, so for technology partners, it's really all about, are they the right partner? And luckily, we have 7 brands, and many of them work with the best partners already. So when we think about taking a partner and adding it to other brands, it's really, was it successful for the brands they already worked with? Was there growth? And are they a great partner? We have really, really small teams at Spark, so we really need our partners to make sure that we enable their technology and operationalize it and then optimize it. So looking for a partner that's really a part of the team.
And I mean, you've got a wide range of brands. You've got everything from Nautica to Lucky to Reeboks, which you have on today. And I just would love to hear, and I think the audience would love to hear, how you decided to go down the path of SMS. I know you've got a lot of experience in it, even previous to Spark Group. So I'd love to hear how you thought about it in the context of serving all these brands that serve different demographics and are very different from each other.
Yeah, so I actually had SMS really on in my CRM career, and at the time, it wasn't super clear why SMS was important. There wasn't really a great growth story from a subscriber standpoint or attributed revenue, and it was extremely risky from a legal and compliance standpoint. But a couple of years later, I did get to work with Attentive at a previous company, and it was just so different. The industry has matured, and it was readily adopted. It drove a lot of growth. It really added to our CRM channel. And the legal and compliance was really easy to handle. So requests do come in, but it was seamless. And then when I joined Lucky Brand, they didn't have an SMS program. And I work with traditional retailers, so huge retail store footprints, a lot of online traffic. So the opportunity was just obvious that it was something we should try. And it was immediately successful. And I think what makes it successful is SMS is now readily adopted. Regardless of the age of your customers, everybody is ready to engage, subscribe, opt in, and engage with the brand that way and have that kind of relationship.
Yeah, whether you're Forever 21 or Reebok or Nautica, whoever it is. And I'm going to circle back on the compliance front. We can't talk enough about compliance today. But obviously that's a big part of your role and making sure that across all your brands, you're delivering them in an effective and compliant way. Talk about how you've thought about that in the context of the Attentive platform.
Yeah, it's definitely really important to us. I think anyone in our industry understands that adding a channel that's going to add more complexity to compliance or deal with more lawyers is probably not something that any of us want to spend time on. So having a partner that makes sure that process, there's tools, there's processes, and it's easy, and you don't need to worry about the regulations. SMS specifically is regulated at the state level and the federal level, so it's just extremely complicated. So as we looked for partners, we looked for a partner that really could make sure that we didn't have to worry about that detail, that they would make sure that we had the guidance that we needed to be successful and to reduce that risk.
Fantastic. And one last piece, I'm sure all the audience would love to hear what performance has been like. I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what matters, and I'd love to hear what your experience has been.
Yeah, so we do have Attentive across all of our 7 brands, and for us, it's been a real growth driver for our CRM channels. We actually have 8,500 new subscribers every week across our 7 brands, and compared to email programs, we have an 8x higher average click-through rate and a 5x higher average conversion rate. And there's still so much room for growth. We're thinking a lot about segmentation, personalization, and conversational commerce. So we're just really excited about the future opportunity for those programs.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you for your partnership. I've really enjoyed meeting you over the course of the process, and it's really cool to hear what you're doing across all of the Spark brands. And with that, we're going to welcome up Eric Meow is going to come back to the stage with Jessica from Reformation. So thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, everyone. I'm happy to introduce Jess Ozella, who is the VP of e-commerce for Reformation. She runs digital, lifecycle, site, bunch of other stuff. Sounds easy. So
That's all of it.
For everyone who's ever been to the store, Reformation has an incredibly strong brand. And maybe just to start, tell us a little bit about what you're bringing to the brand every day.
Yeah, Reformation is on a mission to bring sustainable fashion to everyone. And what I'm thinking about a lot is how can we be a friend and drive value for our customers while hitting our business objectives. So when we're really thinking about our full funnel marketing, there's a time and a place for advertisements, but we can't tell our full story in a split second. And that's why it's so important for us to get that direct one-on-one connection with our customers through email and SMS.
And when you think about SMS, a lot of people in the audience will think, okay, a text message is, I've got a sale, it's X% off, click here, buy now, thanks.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not what Reformation was doing, but I think that you kind of, did something that was more in line with that, which was so successful it sort of took on a life of its own as the text heard around the world. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So it was hard for us to get our heads around the idea of some of the SMS best practices with incentive-based marketing. We're not very promotional. We don't have a lot of incentives, but we do a twice yearly sale, and our customers are always telling us how much they care about early access or exclusivity. And so what we did was we offered early access to the sale to our SMS subscribers. Our CTO jokingly said that the text message should have taken down our website. The traffic was insane. The click-through rate was 96%. I think we had a 16% conversion rate on that message. But what was really nice was it was a great proof point for us to see there's an on-brand way for us to do some incentive-based marketing, but still make it really true to the tone of our voice.
And in terms of the customer response, you literally got responses that you then were posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
What happened? What did that tell you about the conversational part of the channel?
Yeah, it felt so different from other channels, right? You don't really get that conversation, and when we're prioritizing and care about being a friend to our customer, it really showed that they were in it with us, right? They were sending back these messages. It was so funny. It was speaking to us in the same way we speak to them, and really just highlights that it's a great channel for engagement and loyalty long term.
And when you think moving forward in terms of how to bring new kinds of engagement to that audience, or what to do next with SMS, what are you thinking now?
Yeah, we're always testing, so we're really excited to continue testing and trying new things. We see this as a chance to build community, build engagement, and build that loyalty that drives customer value over time. Like I mentioned, it's such an important place for us to drive traffic in order to get these subscribers and continue to grow. And we've launched in Canada and the UK now, so we're taking it outside of the US to bring it to more of our customers.
Awesome. Well, we got to get you to the EU, but I think
Soon.
Yeah, soon. But I think for now we're going to bring back Brian, and thank you.
Of course, thank you.
All right, folks. Well, that is our keynote. So thank you, especially those of you that woke up and were here at 9:30. I don't know how you did it. So thank you very much for being here today for the keynote presentation. Launched a lot of cool new products. Things like our Attentive Consumer Passport, Attentive Concierge, Text to Buy, and of course, Attentive email products, and lots more. So we've got a very exciting agenda, and we're going to jump right into. But let's give one more hand for our presenters and folks. And with that, I'm going to hand it to Garrett to keep things moving. So thank you again, everybody.